Rechal Zegler was being hailed as one of Hollywood's most promising young talents, a rising star many believed was destined for long-term success. But almost overnight, that narrative flipped completely. Rechal Zegler went from being labeled Hollywood's next big thing to becoming what some insiders now describe as a studio's worst nightmare. And the most shocking part, it wasn't because of box office numbers, scheduling issues, or budget overruns. Stories that suggested something had gone very wrong behind closed doors. What allegedly happened behind the scenes was far more troubling. Whispers began circulating about serious tensions on set. Crew members reportedly described moments they still couldn't believe they witnessed firsthand. Imagine the disbelief when an actress once praised as professional and driven allegedly lost control in the middle of filming. According to multiple accounts, Rechal screamed at the director during a live scene with cameras rolling, extras in position, and dozens if not hundreds of people watching in silence. That single moment sent shockwaves through the entire production. Within hours, panic spread across the set. Cast members reportedly asked for additional protections. Makeup artists and assistants allegedly rearranged their schedules just to minimize contact. Crew members avoided shared spaces, and the studio immediately shifted into crisis mode. What should have been a routine production day turned into a full-blown emergency response. Instead of stepping back, Rechal allegedly made things worse. She took to social media, openly mocking the growing controversy. Many believe she didn't realize that her online behavior was only adding fuel to the fire. Behind the scenes, legal teams were already getting involved, and what began as a production issue was quickly escalating into a potential legal nightmare. At that point, the studio wasn't just trying to save the film. They were trying to contain damage that could impact future projects, reputations, and millions of dollars. Hollywood insiders now claim the industry itself started quietly discussing new safeguards, rules meant to prevent another situation like this from ever happening again. So, what really happened? And could this moment truly mark the end of Rechal Zegler's career as a leading Hollywood star? This film was never meant to be just another project. It was supposed to be her comeback, her redemption story. After years filled with online backlash, controversial interviews, and polarizing public statements, Rechal desperately needed this movie to succeed. She needed a win, something that would silence critics and reestablish her credibility in the industry. The studio believed in that vision. They invested heavily, both financially and reputationally, hoping audiences would give Rechal another chance. Everything was riding on this production. But instead of a slow unraveling, things collapsed almost instantly. Production shut down abruptly, catching everyone off guard. Officially, the studio blamed vague scheduling conflicts. It's a familiar Hollywood excuse often used to quietly bury deeper problems. But that explanation didn't last long. Within days, behind-the-scenes reports began leaking, painting a much darker and more complicated picture. According to multiple crew members, tensions had been building for weeks. Rechal allegedly arrived late to set on multiple occasions and appeared unprepared for scenes that had already been rehearsed extensively. When directors or producers offered guidance, she reportedly responded with visible irritation. Simple direction notes were allegedly met with eye rolls, dismissive comments, and a clear lack of patience. One anonymous lighting technician described the atmosphere as uncomfortable, saying Rechal carried herself as though the production owed her something, rather than the other way around. Routine rehearsals reportedly became tense, with crew members unsure how she would react from one moment to the next. But it wasn't just about attitude or punctuality. Things escalated when Rechal allegedly began pushing to rewrite major parts of the script. Insiders claim she aggressively advocated for character changes that aligned more closely with her personal image and public persona. The script, however, had already been finalized long before filming began. Writers and producers were reportedly stunned. While creative discussions are normal on film sets, these demands allegedly crossed a line. Rechal is said to have openly challenged decisions made by the creative team, questioning their vision and pushing for substantial alterations. As pressure mounted, the production environment became increasingly unstable. Crew members described walking on eggshells, unsure when the next confrontation might happen. And then came the day everything exploded. What should have been a straightforward filming session quickly turned chaotic. According to eyewitnesses, the director offered a minor adjustment to Rechal's performance. Nothing unusual, nothing personal. But instead of discussing it calmly, Rechal allegedly reacted with fury. She reportedly accused the director of disrespecting her talent in front of the entire crew. Voices were raised, the set fell silent, extras stood frozen, unsure whether to move or stay in place. And then, in a moment no one expected, Rachel stormed off set in full costume, bringing production to an immediate halt. That was the breaking point. From that moment on, the project was never the same. Emergency meetings followed. Lawyers were consulted. The studio had to consider not only the financial fallout, but the safety and morale of everyone involved. Insiders say trust had been completely broken. Soon after, production was officially paused, then quietly shelved. What makes this situation even more troubling for Hollywood insiders is what it represents. In an industry built on collaboration, reliability matters just as much as talent. Once an actor earns a reputation for being difficult, studios become hesitant. Insurance costs rise, schedules tighten, opportunities disappear. Now, sources claim Hollywood executives are paying close attention. Some believe this incident may permanently change how studios handle young stars, especially those with strong online personas. Contracts may become stricter, behavior clauses more detailed, oversight tighter than ever before. As for Rechal Zegler, her future remains uncertain. While some fans continue to defend her, industry insiders aren't convinced she can recover from this. Hollywood has a long memory, and second chances are far from guaranteed. So was this just a misunderstanding blown out of proportion, or was it a warning sign the industry ignored for too long? One thing is certain, the fallout from this situation extends far beyond a single film.